Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports takes from around the country. So right now, we're with First Things First about whether or not who's going to win the MVP, Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy. Now you're probably wondering, why not just watch it over there? Because over there, they don't care about you. They don't care about your views. They don't care about your opinions. They say this all the time. They're very vocal about this, Over here, we actually care. We read the comments. We respond to every single one of them. If you think what I'm saying is awesome, let me know. If you think I'm saying is ridiculous, also let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. And ultimately, let's have some fun. And please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps with visibility and really helps with the algorithm. And also, if you like this video, please subscribe. I really want to build a community here. I'm trying to do something awesome. And, it's free to you and it means everything to me. So please, if you can, like this video and subscribe. And now, without further ado, let's get to it.
1 and 2 in the MVP race. Here's how their numbers match up. Obviously, whoever wins would take the ever-important QB wins lead. Seems like it matters when we're talking about major things. Total yards are close enough. Brock has a 9-touchdown lead. Passer rating is Brock.
What about rushing touchdowns, though?
Which is why if Lamar is electric, maybe that gap in raw passer rating could be minimized, like just eye test-wise for Lamar. All right, so Brew, if he has a monster game against the number 2 defense, do you think Lamar can leap Purdy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if Purdy struggles and plays poorly.
He plays okay, let's say. Because he plays poorly, obviously.
But if he plays okay in a 27-24 loss and Purdy plays well, I think it's going to be close. Because I think there already are people with Lamar. And those people have already said the numbers aren't a factor. Lamar does have, ironically, because you would think Purdy'd have the storyline. Purdy's narrative is great. But nobody seems to recognize it.
Well, I mean, he's minus 200. We talk about
number 1, though.
Yeah,
I know he's number 1, but nobody's saying, man, this is a great story from Mr. Irrelevant to being the MVP of the league. Most people are tearing him down.
I don't think most. He's number 1.
Bro, Maybe I'm skewed because all I hear is on this show is he's being torn down.
Yes.
But there are a lot of other people. There are a lot of people for him, but there are a lot of people against him.
I buy that.
Lamar has a narrative that I think everybody vibes with. Number 1, the contract situation. They didn't want to pay him. He held his ground, got his money, and comes back and is great. 2, he doesn't have great receivers. He doesn't even have name running backs. Now, it seems like anybody.
Okay. I don't think any of that is relevant in the MVP conversation right now. I don't think anyone's talking about that. I mean, and if they are, it's just kind of, sports content, right? Like, that's not actually any narrative right now. No one's saying, look what Lamar Jackson did about his contract and stuff like that. No one's talking about that right now in terms of, is this person the MVP versus that person? That's just not relevant right now. That's getting lost in the weeds, over analysis. Right now, I think people are focused on who is better, who is the MVP, Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson. Dak was up there. Dak didn't play a good game. Bam, plummeted. I mean, before it was like, who is it really going to be between Dak and Purdy? There was like a legitimate conversation about it. Now, Lamar Jackson has kind of, usurped Dak. So now it's really between the 49, between Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy. I think the winner of this game will take the lead in the MVP voting. But they have to play good. I think it's possible that Brock Purdy doesn't play amazing and the 49ers still win. Or Lamar Jackson doesn't play amazing and the Ravens win. Under that case, I think maybe then everything kind of you kind of stay still. But if Lamar Jackson, throws 2 touchdowns, rushes for 1, rushes for like 80 some yards, throws for 250, right? Like has an amazing game and balls out, he absolutely takes over for Purdy. But the real question is it's really interesting if one team really balls out, right? Lamar Jackson really plays unbelievable, doing plays that you're just like, oh my God, like there's only one person in the world that can do this, and that's Lamar Jackson. But the Ravens still lose, and Brock Purdy, throws 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, throws for, 280 yards. to me, that's the more interesting conversation, because then it's like, well, what's happening here? And I think if that happens, you'll have more people talk about Lamar winning MVP, but I think they'll ultimately defer to Purdy in that regard because they would have won. I think winning this game will really go a long way for the MVP voting, as long as you don't win the game in despite of the quarterback play, right? In spite of the quarterback play. Because if Brock Purdy throws 2 interceptions and has 1 touchdown, and throws for 200 yards, I could see, and the 49ers still win, like, that would obviously hurt his case. But I think that's probably unlikely, but I don't know. I don't know if Brock Purdy has ever really went up against a team like the Baltimore Ravens right now, who are obviously firing at all cylinders. He really hasn't, when you think about it, at least this season. He hasn't really gone up against a team that's really great in that moment. When he beat the Cowboys are terrible on the road. Dak is not great on the road. Like, all of that lined up and makes sense. When he beat the Eagles are obviously not playing good right now. The Eagles have some serious issues that they're addressing. The Ravens are elite right now. They're elite. They're playing elite. They're a hard team to beat. So this is actually going to be great. And so that's the thing. If Brock Purdy plays well against the Ravens and they win, I think it's game over. Brock Purdy is the MVP. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I think that'll be kind of an interesting thing to see.
He runs well in their system, but none of them are big names. The receivers aren't big names. OBJ's older. Yeah. So he's got a lot of narrative going for him. And half of the people have already said it's not on the numbers. It's on his electricity. So, and will the other half come over?
Why do you I tried to do this yesterday or the day before, and Wilds and I got sideways on the different, like, why it's called most valuable player. And I didn't explain it properly. Okay, but why do you think it's become a quarterback-only award? Because the
quarterback's the most important.
Right? Because no matter how,
the ball all the time.
Because because
I think it's just the glamour position now. It used to be a running back award.
Okay, so I've listened to, like, some of the voters who talk about it now, and they say the single best defensive player in the league is less valuable than the 9th best quarterback. And so it's become
J.J. Watt was crushing, and you guys were losing.
Exactly.
And you were in Houston.
Right, and that team, J.J. Watt, in fact, the year they won 12 games, he had 4 touchdowns, he had 20 sacks, and he got like 1 vote, because you're not going to provide the value of a quarterback. So here's my question. If valuable is a key part of this, it is really, really hard for me to believe anyone's going to watch these 2 teams on Sunday, no matter the result, and walk away from it and say, you know what? I think Brock Purdy is more valuable to his team than Lamar Jackson. And so if it's the numbers brew, the fact that Lamar is even in it means the numbers because the gulf between Brock and Lamar's numbers are massive.
But every number 1 seed should be in it. Historically, a number 1 or a number 2 seed wins it. So I don't care. Hold on. Every number 1 seed should be in it.
But you just mean number 1 seed quarterbacks, right?
See, so I think that's what Nick Wright is ultimately saying, is that Lamar Jackson's game pops off the screen so much that it's hard to admit that you're going to watch him and be like, Lamar is the Baltimore Ravens, right? Like, that's what you're going to watch. You're going to say Lamar is the Baltimore Ravens. Like when you watch Mahomes or Burrow or some of these other players, right? You're just like, or Josh Allen, you're like, without those players, this team is nothing. When you watch Brock Purdy and the 49ers, right, this has been the dig against him, is like, you're talking about Debo, McCaffrey, and all these other players, and you're like, those players really make it, right? When you watch a 49ers game, you don't leave that and go, oh my God, Brock Purdy, did you see that throw he made? You don't say that. Instead, you leave the game and you say, oh my God, did you see Christian McCaffrey? Did you see that run he had? Oh my God, did you see the tackle he broke? Did you see Debo Samuel? Did you see what he just did? Oh my God, right? That's the way you leave it. When you see Lamar Jackson, I mean, oh my God. I mean, like, half the time the commentators are just laughing because they're just like, what did I just witness? This is insane. You know, the way he scrambles, the things that he does, the types of throws he makes. You're just like, he's just an athletic freak. So the eye test, Lamar Jackson will just always win, right? I mean, even against like a Tom Brady, you win that because it's just so much more electric to watch. So that's obviously what someone like Lamar has. And so when you're being face to face with this electric quarterback versus someone who, you know, again, I think what makes Brock Purdy, you know, on the more special side is his minimization of errors, which I think is very valuable. I mean, it really is. But those minimization of mistakes just doesn't pop off the screen, right? It doesn't smack you in the face. And so I think that's why someone like Brock Purdy is just less popular, so to speak. But this game is going to be fun. This game is going to be exciting. I just hope everyone stays healthy. I hope there's no big injuries, you know, because then that always ruins the narrative, right? If Christian McCaffrey gets banged up or something like that in the first quarter, then that's the whole narrative. You know, it's just like all that type of stuff. So hopefully everyone stays healthy. I think it'll be an exciting game. But I'd love to all know what you have to say. What do you guys all think? Do you think Lamar Jackson can steal the MVP award? Or Brock Purdy, can he solidify it? Who do you think is going to win this game? Let me know in the comments below. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And also, please don't forget to subscribe. It's free to you, and it means everything to me. So thank you all so much, and see you next time.